Imagine you just made $3 million. Sounds amazing, right? There's just one problem. You got it illegally. Point is, you can't just spend it. If you're earning $2,000 a month and suddenly buy a Ferrari, people will ask questions. The IRS will ask questions. So you need to make that dirty money look clean. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on exactly how it's done. Quick disclaimer, this is completely illegal, don't do it. This is purely to understand a system operating in the shadows all around us. Every laundering technique has two goals. 1, erase the trail back to the crime. 2, create a believable story for where the money came from. Remember those. The oldest trick in the book? A cash business. Think restaurants, laundromats, car washes. Here's the play. Your restaurant legitimately makes $10,000 a day. You slip in $5,000 of your dirty cash and report $15,000 in revenue. That dirty $5,000 is now restaurant income. You pay taxes on it and it's clean. Fun fact, this is literally where the term comes from. In the 1920s, Al Capone used actual laundromats to wash his illegal profits. But it's slow. You can't wash millions this way. You need bigger plays. Enter the casino. It's a perfect washing machine because it's completely normal to win or lose huge amounts of money there. The basic move is simple. Walk in with dirty cash, buy chips, play for a few hours, then cash out for a clean check from the casino. Your story? Lucky night at the tables. But let me tell you about a real scheme, so big it got its own name, the Vancouver Model. Between 2009 and 2015, people walked into British Columbia casinos with duffel bags and garbage bags stuffed with $20 bills. Here's how it worked. Wealthy individuals in China wanted to get their money out of the country, but they were limited to $50,000 a year, so they'd pay a criminal gang. Then they'd fly to Vancouver, where the gang's Canadian associates would hand them suitcases of cash, often from drug sales. They'd take that cash to the casino, convert it to chips, gamble a bit, and walk out with clean checks to buy Canadian real estate. The impact was staggering. In 2016 alone, Vancouver real estate prices jumped 30%. Experts estimate $4 billion was laundered. This didn't just inflate housing, it strengthened criminal organizations dealing fentanyl. Authorities eventually cracked down, but the criminals just moved to the next opportunity. Which brings us to their favorite playground, real estate. It's a money launderer's paradise. From 2015 to 2021, over $2.3 billion was laundered through US real estate and prosecuted cases alone. That's just what got caught. It works because it absorbs huge amounts of cash, and when you sell a property, the money becomes legal income from a sale. And here's the key. In the United States, many real estate agents and lawyers are exempt from anti-money laundering rules. They don't have to ask where your money came from. And here's what's truly crazy. Launderers will overpay for a property by 50% or more just to wash the money. This artificially inflates prices for everyone. In Vancouver, nearly half of the city's most expensive homes were bought using methods that hid the owners' identities. Regular families were priced out, competing not with other families, but with criminals desperate to clean their cash. Money laundering isn't a victimless crime. It's happening in our cities, distorting our economies, and the price is paid by all of us. Criminals have a magic trick. It's called conversion. How do you make $100 million in drug money look like legitimate profit? You shuffle it. You convert it. And two of their favorite assets are art and gold. Art is perfect. Its value is completely subjective. Is a painting worth $10,000 or $10 million? An auction house protects your privacy, and many still accept cash. Here's the classic move. Buy a painting for $100,000, get a friendly expert to appraise it at $10 million, then sell it to your own shell company for that $10 million. Congratulations, you just washed $9.9 million. When Mexico cracked down on this in 2012, their art market collapsed almost overnight. Coincidence? Unlikely. Then there's gold. It's compact, easy to sell, and holds its value anywhere in the world. In one real case, a gang laundered $250 million for British drug traffickers.
They drove cash from the UK to Belgium, bought black market gold with fake receipts, flew it to Dubai, sold it for cash, and deposited in anonymous accounts. This ran for years. The downfall? An auditor at Ernst & Young noticed a jeweler buying 3 tons of gold in cash every year and thought, that's weird. That one thread unraveled everything. But what if you need to move serious money? That brings us to the ultimate weapon, shell companies. These are businesses that exist only on paper. No office, no employees, no product. You can register one online in 2 minutes in a tax haven like the Cayman Islands or Panama, places with ironclad banking secrecy. You don't even have to use your own name. Criminals create hundreds of these across a dozen countries, each with its own bank account. Then they start bouncing money between them in a dizzying web. Imagine a Mexican gang scheme. Deposit cash in Luxembourg as Company A, use that as collateral for a loan in Paris as Company B, wire the loan through Gibraltar as Company C, finally land the money in Panama as Company D.
An investigator would need separate legal requests for 4 different countries, each with its own laws. By the time they untangle it, the money is long gone. It's the corporate equivalent of a ghost. Here's where it gets personal. Criminals have figured out how to use regular people, like you, as unwitting accomplices. Have you ever seen an online deal that seems too good to be true? Top up $80, get $100 in phone credit, or pay us $90, get $100 in game cards. You think you're sending your $80 to a phone company. In reality, it's going to a money laundering middleman. They take your clean money and then use stolen money from online fraud to pay for your $100 credit. You just became the last link in a criminal chain. Your bank account is now evidence. If authorities trace it, they find you. Your account gets frozen, you could face legal trouble. They call it delayed credit top-up because the middleman needs time to match your payment with a fresh batch of dirty money. That's why they'll tell you there's a queue or server congestion. The discount is never worth it. So how do these sophisticated operations get caught? Often it's just plain stupidity. They get greedy and buy a fleet of Lamborghinis. They forget to pay taxes on their legitimate laundromat. Or, like the gold scheme, one person, an auditor, a banker, notices one thing that just feels off and pulls the thread. But here's the truth. For every one caught, many more get away. The UN estimates over $2 trillion are laundered every year. It's hidden in the all-cash real estate deal for that new downtown condo, the quiet art gallery, maybe even the coffee shop on your corner. And fighting it is like squeezing a balloon. When Vancouver cracked down on casinos, the money just flowed into real estate. When they cracked down on real estate, it moved to other countries. Criminals always find the weakest link, because there's a conflict of interest built into the system. Tax havens need the business. Real estate agents want the commission. People who are supposed to be the watchdogs often benefit from not looking too hard. So, what's the takeaway? Money laundering isn't some distant crime. It's in your city, driving up your housing prices. Never let anyone use your bank account, and don't fall for those free money schemes. The techniques are simple. Hide the trail and create a legitimate story. Understanding how it works is the best way to spot the red flags and protect yourself.